I mean, ultimately, the reason that you play fighting games is the reason that you compete at any game, whether it's a video game, a fighting game, a sports game, a first-person shooter. It doesn't matter. It's just the feeling that you get from beating somebody else. You know, why does Kobe Bryant? You know, why does he play basketball every day? Because he loves to beat down the other team. He loves it. He lives for it. And you know, it's the same thing for us. It's just, you know, we play a video game.
I really think it's a passion. It's a love. It's a love for the game, the experience, the people, the excitement. You know, when you see people like Justin playing and stuff like that, you hear the crowd. It's, you know, and there's big money on the line, and it's always in. It might be a lot at stake, but it's always a friendly. You know, after it's all said and done, I've never seen like a fight at anything like this. Came close, but you know, it's all in fun, and that's what counts. You know what I mean? We're all here. We're all still playing. And as long as the games keep coming out and we keep liking the games, I don't see why this would stop.
I don't want to work a job, like a 9-to-5 job, because I feel like that's the most boringest life ever. And in order to be successful in life, in my opinion, to be wealthy, is you just have to be creative and do something that a lot of people would just pay money to see or do. I say professional video gaming is not something that's in an untapped market where people can see it for more than just video games and violence, more of it like entertainment, like just like wrestling. Like wrestling can be fake to a lot of people, but it's entertainment on a TV show about all the drama, and there's a shitload of drama in the video game industry, for sure, definitely.
Once you start to like really put in the time, I mean, it's not a game anymore. If this were basketball, like, okay, is pro basketball a game? Yeah, it's a game, but it's not really a game.
You know, you cue them up, and I just knock them down like pins, you know?
I play almost every type of fighting game that's in tournaments, really, because I like competition. I've been playing since, I'm 15. I'm 15 when I started. 8 years. Well, I play at my local arcade, Chinatown Fair, and I was like 12, and then I was like real scrub back then, but then my friends always motivated me, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep playing. And then one day they took me to a tournament, and I won one tournament in New Jersey, and then they was like, okay, we gotta go all over the place. So we traveled all over the United States and even internationally.
Justin's the epitome of you cannot touch him. Like, he plays solid, and he's played every game solid. And Joe's just right behind him now.
I don't understand how he's that good. He can't be that good, Joe.
I say that
because when I play, I'm like, this nigga's good. He make it, when a person's so good they make you sick to your stomach, that's a problem. Yeah, but he's a cool guy. Some people don't like him because they think he's cocky, but he's not really cocky because, you know what? I think it's like, if people try to pretend to be your friend to get tips from you, you know, they're not really trying to be your friend. I think he's got to be wary of that because, you know, certain people probably try to just use him because of his fame or whatever. You know, so he might come off as an asshole, but he's really not.
My friendship with Justin didn't really start off as like a friendship. You know, we both played at Chinatown, and it was, you know, like kind of like a hey, what's up thing kind of thing. So I've been going there forever. He's been going there longer than I've been going there. So we grew, you know, with time. Obviously, like anything. To me, he's not Justin Wong. He's, you know, my friend. His name is Justin. That happens to be extremely good.
Me and Joe, we're really good friends. Like, it's not like he doesn't talk to me just because of Street Fighter 4. Like, we talked before Street Fighter 4. Like, I seen him in arcade a lot back then, but he wasn't the type of people that came up to me like, oh my god, it's Justin Wong, you know?
You know, a lot of people see Justin as, you know, like, oh my god, it's Justin Wong. Like, a lot of people feel that he's very inapproachable and stuff like that. But, you know, that's also because, you know, how many people probably approach him everywhere he goes. You know, oh my god, that's Justin Wong. Oh my god, that's Justin Wong. You know, everyone has to realize he's still, you know, a human. You know, he's not a superhero. They look at him as, you know, like a role model, I guess. Some people may, kind of, sort of, but you have to look at him still like a person, and that's, you know, that's the way I've always looked at Justin. I think that's why we have a pretty good relationship. I've been playing like competitively since I was about 14, 15, but I've been playing games in general since I was like 4. You know, I used to go to the mall, and my dad used to give me quarters. He'd give me $5, and that was it. And then I just learned to keep $5 last for, you know, the whole time the mall was open.
So when he would play, he wasn't a whooper, and he wasn't someone that would look at the person next to him as he got older and be condescending towards how they played. And I would watch him, which I did for many, but I used to sleep in the game units while he was playing. And I would watch him, and after, if he would lose, he would stand in the back and he would watch and try to get patterns off the person that he lost from. He would go back and was able to beat them. It was much more than a game, even when he was like 8 years old. He was very, very much into it, but pleasurably. He never got upset. He never kicked things. He never would come home and be miserable. He lost. He learned from him. He'd go back another day. And there it went, man. And he just kept, as he's doing it now, just kept on rolling. Got better and better as he kept playing.
I used to beat everybody's ass in any game. So eventually, I came to the mall, you know, I was chilling with Lex, and they were playing Street Fighter, so I'm like, all right, I bust everybody's ass in this usually, let me play. I seen Joe with a Fatal Fury hat on. I still remember the exact day. He beat my ass, and I'm like, yo, I'm Darren. How the fuck am I losing? That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, how did I lose? Ever since then, my whole mission in any game is just to beat him.
It really is.
I don't even care about anything else. I just want to be better than him.
Darren would come over to the counter at FYE, and we'd
say,
go,
why can't I beat him?
Why can't I beat him? And
Why can't I beat him?
Like, he has those magical hands.
Yo, I swear to God, I literally would play every day. My sole mission has just become to beat Joe.
Yeah,
that's all I ever want.
I started playing Street Fighter when I was about 9 or 10. I would play Street Fighter 2 World Warrior, and I would buy, you know, I was a kid, I would buy all the Game Pro magazines, so I would always read about, you know, dudes like Alex Valle and Mike Watson. I would read about them, you know, I would think like, wow, like that's the coolest thing that I could ever imagine is to be one of these top Street Fighter tournament players, but I wouldn't consider myself a typical gamer because I suck at like everything that's not Street Fighter. I'm terrible at. You know, like I never played, you know, I never beat Super Mario Brothers. I mean, you know, I don't really play video games. I guess you could say I'm like an entrepreneur. And a lot of people have a problem with that because people think that like, you know, everybody should have a job. But I mean, you know, we live in America. We don't all have to have jobs in order to make a living. But a lot of people are like, oh, you should get like a real job. Like, why should I get a job when I can have something much bigger and better than a job? It's kind of like I get to live the dream, you know? Like, Like, how many people out there get to not just like play a video game for a living, but have this video game take care of like everything that they could want out of life, I guess. I mean, how many people get to take their passion to that level, you know?
The sensation East versus West Coast is definitely important for us. It's the first kind of battle between us.
Like overall, West Coast is definitely better. That's without a fact. I mean that just goes without saying. That's like a total fact. No, I'm just talking about like pure, numbers. You know what I mean? Like how can you just say you're the best when you have zero competition, or there's very few players playing? You can't. You just can't, or you're just being stupid. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I beat everybody in my area, so I'm the best. If they're not good, then it doesn't mean anything. Or maybe you are the best, but they all suck still. So
West Coast has always supposedly, or more people have sided with the West Coast when it came to who's better at what. And all we really had over here was Justin. Like the Coast was generally better over there, and of course we have Justin over here. But Justin can't. Regardless, he can't hold up an entire coast. Just because Justin is this good, you can't say East Coast is better because we have one extremely good player. They normally have always been better. So to be better at Street Fighter 4, which is now is when it counts, kind of thing. Now is when the media sees it and everyone sees the game. So would you rather be better at Super Turbo or Third Strike, when it's just us who are paying attention to it, or now you have Street Fighter 4 where everyone is paying attention to it. So to be better at this game that's a lot. That's a lot for us. Sensation is a tournament that was held in Fairfax, Virginia. It was the first Street Fighter 4 East versus West kind of thing. They had exhibition matches. The first one was actually a 2-on-2. Brandon, Demon Heel, and myself, and Combo Fiend, and Gootecks.
Seriously, East Coast is better than West Coast.
You heard it.
That's real.
You heard it.
That's
East
right.
Coast.
Traditionally, in Street Fighter history, there's always a rivalry between West Coast and East Coast because our styles are, in general, dramatically different. So it's always fun to play a player from a different coast because you get a chance to see how you stack up, how your style interacts with their style.
Yeah, he won. He pulled away, he pulled away.
If you mess up once, they know you're gonna do it again. Like if you, let's say every time I do one thing, I jump, he like checks it. It's like he's gonna do it, he's gonna jump.
Ryan destroyed Martin. He knew that fight too well. The thing about Justin is that I know he's stubborn. He wants to win. He knows what's really good, but then he wants to make a name for himself by not having to use that anymore. Not using the best, but winning because he's Justin Wong.
Today is the big day. Oh my goodness. What time is it? It is 8:45 right now. It's a call before the storm. We got people coming all over from Canada, Cali, New York. Pretty much, this is the East Coast major now. Pretty much right now. This is the biggest tournament on the East Coast right now.
What do you say, resurgence? Isn't that what Larry said? It's a resurgence. The console definitely boosted this game up. The game gets so much publicity. Street Fighter 4, it's crazy. It's crazy. And you see how many people in there. Go take a look at that bracket. 250 people. I think the number right now is like 243, and online they had 256. So only a couple people didn't show up. That's a lot of people for one tournament.
In my past experience, like when a kid reaches his prime, is usually up to like 21. They start at like 16, maybe 15. Get mature enough to know all aspects of the game up to like 21. Then after that, they know so much that I'm not saying they get any worse. It's just when real life starts kicking in, you can't be playing as much anymore. You can only play so long. Versus like the casual player, you're gonna play and you're just gonna try to impress your friends doing a combo. You're not gonna stay long.
Once most people, and I guess I can't really talk because I'm not of that age, but once most people hit late 20s, early 30s, I mean, real life just kind of like smacks you in the face. So summer of 2008, I had a quarter-life crisis. I was 25, I just turned 25, and I just felt like I was in a rut, Nothing was really going well, I wasn't making any money, and I kind of just like decided to drop everything that I wasn't super passionate about, super excited about. So I dropped everything. I dropped all that stuff. I broke up with my girlfriend of like 4 years. I mean, I had to make a change, I had to make a change. So that's what I did, and the only thing that was left was Street Fighter.
So like, what's the idea for this? They trying to plan like some juniors league or something?
It's supposed to be picked up by World Cyber Games.
Yeah.
And supposedly it's going to be picked up by LLG, but for sure, like almost for sure, World Cyber Games. Yeah. So like, if that's the case, then all these teams are going to be looking for players. So they're going to be looking for the SoCal players. They're going to be looking for Joe. They're going to be looking for Justin. They're going to be looking for everybody. Because who are they going to get? If they're going to pay for us to live and they're going to fly us around the world to fucking play video games, dude. That's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, dude.
That's like everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, make sure I have a good job, be able to take care of, the family, and eventually have a family. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. I don't really have any, super inspiring goals or anything like that. Like, everything I really wanted to do, I kind of did already. I'm gonna be 24, but I kind of did everything I really wanted to do, to be honest. When I came in second at Sensation, and I didn't even care about money. I was just thinking, about, the East Coast and the players and Team Capital and my friends and everyone behind me that was cheering for me. But I think playing for other people and other causes other than yourself, well, that's my motivation. Most of my motivation comes in, like, the moment.
Oh! Ultra, Steve, Ultra! Steve, Ultra that shit! You land Ultra!
We got me, Gootecks, Justin Wong, Long Island Joe, Marn, Marn, Long Island Joe, Demon Hio, Justin Wong, Gootecks. There's so many players here, it's like, I don't know exactly what's gonna happen. I'm gonna try my best to win. Fortunately for the brackets, Gootecks is up here and I'm down here, so hopefully we meet, somewhere at the end. But if it doesn't, we'll just keep playing and working and try to win. It's getting like, it's everything I wanted to see. Like everybody's buying it, everybody's playing it, and everybody thinks they're great in it. And that's what I want, you know. If you think you're good, that's great, because then you're gonna get a slice of humble pie when you play against SoCal, you know, or you know, you play against Long Island Joe, Justin Wong, and stuff like that. You know, they're gonna let you know that you gotta be a part of the scene if you want to get better. You can't get better just playing by yourself in the living room. Me and Gootecks talk about every day is, where is this community gonna head? What is the direction? And I mean, you know, I'm at a 250-man tournament for Street Fighter 4 right now. And this is like the first major tournament. You know, we never see these kind of numbers. The game has barely been out, and we already got this amount of people. You know, it's only gonna grow. Yeah, it could possibly decline, but I don't see it happening. As people get better, you know, they're gonna wanna compete more. Hopefully, like I said, I always want to see this stuff on ESPN. Let's get rid of the spelling bee already. I don't care about kids memorizing words out of a dictionary. There's nothing crazy about that. There's no resets in the dictionary. There's no cross-ups in spelling.
What makes fighting games, what makes it so compelling for people is that when you watch basketball on TV, you watch baseball, okay, if you haven't been playing since you were a kid and you're not like actively trying to be a professional, you are never, ever, 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 ever gonna have a chance ever to play the best in the world, ever, no matter what. There is no, like if I can beat all the people, you know, at my local park at basketball, then like I can call up Kobe Bryant and be like, hey, Kobe Bryant, me and you, one-on-one, you know? It just doesn't work that way. But the beauty of Street Fighter, you can start out playing at home on your Xbox or on your PS3, and you can just kind of work your way up. Once you have that first taste of victory, I mean, you just want to take it further. So, you know, let's say you played in your first tournament and you went 2-0. Next time you're like, okay, I'm gonna practice really hard. Okay, so now I beat one dude. I beat one guy, and then I lost the next two. Okay, fine. So you can see that incremental progress. And as you see yourself go from the bottom of the barrel to top 8, I mean, that's a great feeling, because you know that all the effort, the time, and the dedication that you put in is really starting to pay off. I can tell you for sure what makes Street Fighter unique, and that's that we have our roots in the arcade scene. What happens is that there's a certain kind of special magic that you have in an arcade that you really don't get anywhere else, and that's really the interaction that you have with the other players. Because the beauty of Street Fighter is that it attracts so many different types of people, because there's no one specific type of group that Street Fighter brings together. There's no like social class, ethnic group, none of that. There's so many different players, so many different types of people. And I think the root of that is just because Street Fighter started out as an arcade game. So because it's an arcade, you know, you're face to face with these players, I mean, you get to know everybody. And that's really the beauty of this community, is the fact that we're so diverse and so, I would say, pretty well-rounded.
We want to take you back, man. We want to give you that arcade experience, like the one that we grew up in. When you go to the arcade and you see your friends, you know, these are your homeboys. These are the people who are really down for you. Despite your color, despite your race, despite your beliefs. All we want to know is if you got skills. And from there, we can develop good relationships, and we can help each other out, all right?
And just to that stage, you were getting mentors. You were having the opportunity for like a player who's like 16, 17 to say, hey man, for 12 years old, 13, you're really good. I can help, like in a way, groom you and give you advice and make you better than I was at that age. Right. And already then you had like, the first steps of where it was starting. I mean, Justin Wong, Eddie Lee came out and the Marvel tournament and was like, yeah, there's this kid who's better than me. It's like 9, playing at a stroller.
Right now I'm in top 16 winners. I gotta play Eric V next. And, you know, I know him for a while, you know, we play a lot, so it's gonna be a really good match. But then I just really want to get against Mike Ross and Gootecks. That's what my main goal is. I just like the fact that I can press a lot of buttons, because you know. And when you do combos, it's like dial. Like I just like doing that, and it's really fun to me. And it's like people say I have a natural talent for like fighting games. So like I'll try to outsmart my opponent. So I just I believe them, and I kept with it.
Going pro in Long Island just
I was telling him, man, going pro is the way for him. That's what I was telling him.
It's on you.
It's a one of a lifetime. You can always go back.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the same thing.
You can never go back to this.
That's the exact same thing.
At a time,
Hey, did I not just say that, dude?
It's a gamble, dude. It's a gamble.
Of course it's a gamble.
So, but all right. I'm like,
you know what you got if you stay, but you don't know what you can have if you go.
I know, but I know if I stay, I'll be straight for the rest of my life.
That's boring. You want to be bored?
Joe it's kind of unfortunate because he pretty much only has Justin over there, and even though Justin is like an amazing player, I don't really think that you can grow as much as a player when you're only playing like one or two guys, you know. So Joe is kind of in the same boat as Justin is, where they're out there in New York, and they just don't have as many really good players as we have in LA. And it's really not about like their own skill level. It's just more about like having the experience of playing like a bunch of different players, because that's what helps you grow as a player.
Y'all the best of the best. All right, let's get it. Let's go.
See, you guys live in the land of hope. It's a land of like hope and dreams.
I see it, dude. I see it, man. It's there.
See, I don't see it. That's the thing. I see what I have. That's my problem. Is that I see what I have. That's real. It's concrete. It's solid. It's
Maybe it's
actual.
because I don't got nothing. I don't know, man.
There, man.
I think it's there. I think it's there, and I think it's there for the taking.
My mom, she used to care. My mom was, all into it. She just didn't really like me traveling because I was like a mama's boy, and she didn't really want me to do anything at the age of 23. So, but she would always back me up.
This is my family: my brother, my mom, my dad, my sister, and moi. Whenever I play tournaments, I just pack this with me. So wherever I am, I just wherever the hotel is, I just put it on the on the nightstand or whatever. The last tournament, backstory: my mom, she passed away a little while ago. So my dad made this for me, and he left it on the table of his house. And he said, take the picture with you for good luck, Joe. And he made this for me. So now, and I actually came in second in the tournament. He told me to take it too. So I just now, forever, from now on, I'm just going to carry it with me. I took it to 3 tournaments, and I placed at least top 3 in 2 of the games I went to go play at. So this is like my new good luck thing. So
I hope to place at least top 5 at final round. At least top 5. I would shoot for. I would go there saying, all right, you hear your competition, you know the people that are going to be there. You hear through word of mouth, whether it be forums, how good they are, what character they use, and stuff like that. And Justin knows everybody, so Justin's like, he's coming, he's pretty good. This person's coming, he's pretty good. This is what we're going to do, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it good. We're going to train. We're going to get better. We're going to go here. We're going to go there. We're going to play with these people. This is something I love to do. I mean, it's impossible to say no.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't think of Street Fighter. I don't think I'm going to be doing this forever. Like, I'm not retarded. Like, I'm not delusional like that, where I think that, I'm going to be playing Street Fighter when I'm like 50 or 60. I'm going to do all this Street Fighter stuff for as long as it's fun. And yeah, as long as it's fun, like, I'm going to do it. And once it stops being fun, then I'll move on to something else.
Yeah, we definitely got the players, but the East Coast isn't. We might be a little bit ahead of them right now, but eventually, you know, the console's out, so people are going to catch up, and then it's going to be a race to see which coast can get better and which coast will be able to not get embarrassed by Japan and possibly take them all out, you know, at EVO. So just got to wait and see what happens.
I got 5th place out of, 240-something people. But to me, that doesn't mean shit. Because I wanted to do better than that.
Justin beat me 3-0. And then I had to wait for the next loser, so I had to play Gootecks, and Gootecks beat me. He beat me 3 straight. He's really good. So, I mean, if this guy is going back and forth with Justin, you know, I can't be that upset to lose to him, you know?
Honestly, hey, I'll tell you, man, like, I would throw it all away. Because to me, like, when you're, like, following your passion, everything just comes together. It just comes together. That's the only way I can explain it, dude. There's no reason that any of this should work. There's no reason. But it's worked out so far for me, and it's going to work for Mike Ross.
Justin reminds me of like Super Turbo Computer on 8 stars, where they do shit for no reason, and it still works.
Finals was me versus Gootecks. I was in winners, he was in losers, 4-7. And I've been maining Rufus lately, and of course he's using ball rock. The match, it was going back and forth. It was going 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. In the end, I clutched it off, 4-3. But Gootecks, hell of a guy, hell of a player. It could have went it could have gone any way. It could have gone any way.
Thank you.
You know, at least East Coast won finally. So we got that.
Well, I played Justin, and I had to beat him 2 sets of 4 out of 7. And came down to the last game. I don't remember if it was last round of the last game, but I missed a combo, and it was pretty big. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm like exhausted. But I mean, basically, I had to win 8 games on Justin, and I mean that's like really hard because Justin's amazing.
My first place was a lot of money, $1,700. Oh my God, are you kidding me? I had to play. That was like the best I ever played in my life. I had to get my revenge. I was so depressed at Sensation. After that, I got a reality check.
When I was playing Third Strike before they announced Street Fighter 4, I just thought I was going to play Street Fighter 4 until I got arthritis. I mean, I just thought I was going to play Third Strike until my hands fell off, dude. I just thought that was it. But now, with Street Fighter 4, the world opens up.
I would say 90% of the time, we're just going to play, have fun, and it's going to be good. And win or lose, as long as it's a good match, like, that's what's important. 10% of the time, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck this guy up. When I played Justin in Atlanta, I mean, I was so tired. Like, I just wanted to play and win, but I wasn't like, oh, Justin, I'm gonna like decimate you. It's not like that because you don't just decimate Justin Wong, obviously.
That's my special power. Like, if I play someone in a tournament, my special effect comes in. It's like some type of Yu-Gi-Oh card or something. If you sit down and play me and you said that I'm playing Justin Wong, you're only playing with 70%. That's it.
It's just not like that. It's like, all right, let's put on a good show. Like, of course I want to win. I flew across the country to win. So it's like, how am I going to be all like, Justin, I hate you. Because it's like, it's not like that. It's like,
Well, I think Gootecks, he's a really smart guy. And he's doing the right thing for Street Fighter 4. But a lot of people are just not, I guess they don't like him because he's promoting himself as like one of the best players, whatever. But to the community, I guess it's of course to them it's a false statement, but to the fans and everyone, it's true to them. Like they only know like 2 names when it comes to Street Fighter 4. They just know Gootecks and myself. And I don't think he should be hated on, but there's always going to be haters. What they say. If you're not hated on, then who are you? It's good to be hated.
To be honest, I don't even know where I'm at right now in Street Fighter. Like with Street Fighter 4, it's just like so much bigger than any other fighting game they've had, Capcom's had before, or I think any other fighting game, period. We don't know how big this can get. I'm just here playing, trying to win, trying to make people happy, with the way I play and stuff like that. Just try to be a good guy. So I don't know where I'll be. I don't know where I'll be in a week, to be honest. And that's like the honest truth. What's going to happen this weekend? What's going to happen next weekend? I don't even know. The reason why I don't know where I'm going to be in a week from now is a combination of things. A, it's how I am as a person. That whole philosophy just came about within the past year, where like I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so I'll just deal with it as it comes, but always be ready for whatever happens. And it is partly the community. People might like you one second, they might hate your guts the next second. Besides my parents, huge inspiration for me, biggest inspiration for me. Brother, huge inspiration. That's about it. All right, well, going back to inspirations, I guess you could say, last year was obviously the worst year of my life. That's when my mom passed away. So obviously she's like the biggest inspiration for me. Biggest inspiration. It's like, with her, I don't care if I don't make it in Street Fighter because it's bigger than Street Fighter, I don't talk about it to anybody really.
because I do like to have a separate side. I do like, you know, I don't like people knowing everything about me, because that just sucks, you know. I just don't like that. That's just how I am. So, you know, when I talk about that, it's like people don't know everything about it. I don't want people to know everything about it. Just know that that's where 100% of my inspiration comes from, is from her. It was a grueling process to go through. You know, anybody out there who lost, you know, somebody close from cancer knows how bad it is. You know, you don't wish that upon like anybody. Nobody deserves that. Nobody. So yeah, that's where I come from. That's where all my strength comes from. On a day-to-day basis, I might pick up the guitar for like 20 minutes, you know, to try to stay fresh at it, but I'm not. I'm pretty terrible. I usually wait for the call from Gootecks to see what's going on. He usually always got some new like crazy update for me, so.
Mike Ross and Ryan Gutierrez, Gootecks, are pretty much, I'd say, exemplary of the new wave of West Coast players. There's a new type of attention that has been cast upon the scene. You know, like Mike Ross goes back to being a Marvel player, and he was good, but he was never as popular, as legitimately popular as Street Fighter 4 has made. Ryan is kind of like the behind the scenes to that, you know, like Mike Ross is kind of like a natural celebrity, and Ryan makes celebrity happen.
Ryan Gootecks Gutierrez, you know, he's a personal friend of mine. You know, me and him are kind of like a dynamic duo in a sense for Street Fighter 4 right now.
I met Mike at Video 94 because Mike came in to play Street Fighter 4 with a couple of the other Marvel guys or Riverside guys, and they would come to Video 94, and those guys weren't really into it. You know, they would just kind of play just to play, but Mike was like, Mike was pretty hardcore.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, we started playing, and
was it a love-hate relationship at the beginning?
No, not at all. Not at all.
This guy catches a lot of flack right now, you know, in the community, and partly because, you know, he is like one of the hardest working people, if not the hardest working people in Street Fighter right now, trying to make this scene as big as possible. And I guess, you know, some people don't like him for that, I guess, because he's like being successful with it in a sense, you know, where he's getting the exposure out there. He's doing everything he said he was going to do. But, you know, I know it's definitely taking a toll on him. You know, it's definitely like, you know, it's a lot of pressure. I'm just, you know, trying to get people to remember that he's only human, you know, even though he is doing a lot for the community. And, you know, that's my dude right there, you know. Gootecks, that's my dude.
I mean, that fool, when we play in tournament, that fool, I'll make that fool rage quit in real life. You know, like, we'll be playing, and then all of a sudden the character stops moving, and Mike comes over and shakes my hand, you know? Like,
wow.
Because he knows. And vice versa, you know? Like, he'll know it's over, or I'll know it's over, or it's just like, man.
It's over.
All right, good game. All right, now let's go eat.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I mean, yeah, no, it's cool, you know? Like, I mean, he's like a really good friend of mine. Mike can say something, anything, it doesn't matter. And I will look at Mike like this, with no expression whatsoever, and Mike will know exactly what I'm thinking. I'll be completely expressionless, and then Mike starts laughing.
You two are an old married couple.
We are an old married
couple of the
Yes.
West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like he just knows everything that I'm thinking, because, like, we've spent enough time talking about all this shit, and, like, hanging out, and going to these, you know, out-of-state tournaments that, like, you know, we just know.
Honestly, my goals at EVO are just to have a good time. Yeah, it's the biggest Street Fighter 4 tournament ever, but, like, what I'm doing doesn't necessarily revolve around, you know, the biggest Street Fighter 4 tournament ever, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between me getting, let's say, second and me getting, like, seventh, for me personally, in terms of what comes out of this. I mean, winning is important that day, but in the grand scheme of things, what's more important to me is making this into something bigger than it was before. What that means is that by doing bar fights and by going to New York and spending the time over there, it really made me see the potential of what this can become. And to me, what this can become is far more important than whether I'm getting first, second, third, fourth, or last.
So EVO is the biggest single event fighting game tournament in the world. We have tournaments for 6 to 8 fighting games depending on the year. This year it's 6. And this year it's held in the Rio Hotel at Las Vegas.
So EVO is, in a lot of ways, the international Street Fighter championships, well, on a lot of fighting games. So any of the best fighting games in the world come to EVO, so it's all driven by players. So whatever players think are the hottest games and show their support for by turning out for tournaments, we'll have a tournament at EVO.
So EVO has actually been going on for about 12 years. In our very first tournament, it was, like I said, 64 players, tiny little tournament. It was basically, let's just sort of get together these guys from the internet and see like who's better, because we've been talking trash on the internet for a while. And from there, it's sort of grown organically. Every year we try to make it just a little bit bigger based on sort of the community support. And like I said, we've gone from like 64 players holding it in an arcade, basically asking the owner, you know, can we just borrow this back into the arcade, to moving it to university campuses where we have a couple of hundred players and we sort of rent out, you know, the student union. And now we're at the point where it's so big that we're holding it in, you know, Las Vegas hotels, where we get literally, you know, 1,500 to 2,000 players all coming to enjoy, you know, Street Fighter and all the other fighting games over a 3-day weekend. Yeah, with Street Fighter 4 this year, it's going to be just on another level. We have over 1,000 players, I think almost 1,100 players just in that one tournament. It is by far the biggest single fighting game tournament held in one event using this format in the world. I mean, just the excitement in that room should be huge all weekend long, because there are so many good players entering this tournament that just to get to sort of what we call the finals, the final 8 players, is going to be a huge achievement for anybody.
I'm surprised because I didn't think it was going to be a lot of competition, but I guess I didn't realize how many people would come out. Like, really, there's like a ton of top players here, and I got to play Arturo first match. For my first match in, you know, top 128, I got to play Arturo Sanchez. And, you know, that's a match that some may feel like, you know, should be later in the polls or in the tournament and not like the first round in semis. Of course, I don't want to play him until it's like for a top 2. You know, that's Arturo. Man is like not human. You know, it's just like that kind of pressure. The fact that, you know, there's a chance. Let's just say there's a chance I could lose to Arturo, and then there's a chance I may lose to Marn the next round in losers or something. And then there you go, like I'm 128th place. It's like, really? You know, if that's how you want to view it as, you know, then that's cool. But I guess if you look at it like that, then, you know, if you let the placings get to you, then it could be really stressful. It could be really stressful. But if you go and realize like who you're playing against and who you beat and who you lose to, then it's a little different.
And this was the conversation that I had with Mike Ross. I said, hey, Mike, you know, because we were both having this conversation. Mike,
pro gaming is a lie. And he says, no, pro gaming is not a lie, it's just incorrect. And what he meant by that was that for the amount of pressure or shit talk that we have to endure or deal with or whatever, it's not proportionate to the amount of money that there is in pro gaming. If I'm Kobe Bryant or, A-Rod, like let's say you're at a baseball game, you're watching A-Rod play and he messes something up. Okay, well, yeah, he's got the entire stadium of people to boo him and tell him how much he sucks. But that dude gets paid more than like every single person here. But he performs in front of a lot of people and he gets paid accordingly. We perform in front of a lot of people and we don't get paid accordingly. And that is where some of the fun dies, definitely. I mean, when you lose, you feel shame. You feel embarrassed, you feel sad, you feel disappointed, you're mad at yourself. You feel all of these emotions and it's multiplied by the number of people that are watching. That sucks.
A reminder in Street Fighter First Semi-Finals, if you win your match, you must come back to me, the bracket dude, and report. Otherwise, I will never know. If you win your match, come and report to me, please. Thank you.
I love you, Joe. Joe. Eric Albino. Joe. Eric, talk it out.
The reason why it's important for me to win, I want this to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And I think like I could help it go somewhere. Not saying that anybody else can't, but I think if I win, it's like, you know, 'cause I'm kind of like an up and comer. So it's good to see, you know, some, not that I had just started playing, been playing my whole life, but to be like an up and comer and win. And it's like someone else can see that and be like, I could do that then. You know what I'm saying? Like if I did it, anyone else could do it. Like I play for, you know, like my coach, my friends, you know, for like a mutual win, not for a win that I hold under my belt. It's more of like a mutual win. You know, my dad would be like, you know, like he just won, you know, whatever, and now all the whatever that would come along with winning Evo or placing top 3 or something like that. You know, he would be proud. You know, the coach would be proud. My family, my friends back at home. You know, so it's not really just a win for me. It's a win for everyone that knows me and that I don't know that want to play. It's, you know, it's endless. He's good though. He's the best thing I've seen, you know, that I've had to come account for whatever. But he's good. He's definitely good. But I wasn't really playing right. I wasn't really playing in the like in the Evo mode, I guess. I kind of felt like I was playing more like a casual game. Like I was doing stupid stuff. I was rushing. I could have just hit him and just sat there, you know, and waited for him to jump or do something. But I was rushing, making stupid mistakes. So he beat me. Then as soon as I lost that, I walked up the stage and then played my second match right there, and I lost that one again. I didn't really have my head in the game, especially after I lost the first one.
That shit was organized. Yo, Dan, you want to play right here? No, we can take a break. No, I'm good, dude. I'm good.
But I lost to 2 good. I lost to the Juice Box and Damn Die, the Viper. So you know what? You know, it all comes with, you know, comes with learning. You know, it's not really a big deal.
The game is, you know, my first response is to say that it's 50% mental, 50% skill. But you got to think about it as in that 50% skill, you need to be at 100%, you know? You need to be at the top of your game. You need to be like outstanding. But at the same time, you need to have like you need to be well balanced up here. You know, you can't get nervous. You can't get nervous. It doesn't matter if there's 10 people watching. It doesn't matter if there's 10 million people watching. You can't get nervous.
I think mentally, you need to be at least. It's at least 60% important in terms of tournament. In casuals, it doesn't matter, but in tournament, you need to have a good mindset, at least 60%, because tournaments are nerve-wracking. You have people. You're out of your environment. People are yelling in your ear. You have people watching you, and you want to make sure you don't do bad and you don't want to choke. You have to not get nervous. You have to just be able to play in any normal environment situation.
I mean, you know, when you're just playing casually, it's like, who cares? All you got to do is beat your friends and the local people at your arcade. When it comes down to a national tournament, I mean, now you have to live up to your reputation. And so if you have the reputation of being really good, like let's say Justin Wong has to live up every single time he plays to the name that he's created for himself.
Well, I've been like a figure known to the underground community, but now since it's a commercialized thing, it's pretty good. Like, I try not to get it into my head, like the whole ego thing. But since Street Fighter 4 came out, I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter 4. Like, that's like the only game I really play now because I really enjoy playing the game. But I also understand that it's a really big game to be. You have to be good at this game. Like, it's important to be good at this game because this is the game where it could be on the same level as first-person shooters and as PC gaming.
I had to play Arturo first match, and then after that I had to play Liston, and against Liston I was down 3 rounds, 3 straight rounds. He was about to get the last round to beat me, and then I came back and beat him 4 straight rounds. Like, I was just so out of it at Evo, and then right after that I had to play Sanford. I wish the GameStop tournament didn't bypass pools for me because I went a whole day without playing. And I mean, it's actually, you know what? It's my fault because I should have been practicing during the off time. So I lost to Arturo and Sanford. I'm like the only West Coast player that had to play East Coast, like straight up. And I just like straight up lost. But like other people, it kind of sucks because they lost early too, but they were losing the West Coast. You know, I'm the one that had the chance to take out the East Coast and I just failed. Yeah, like I handle losses really bad, as some people say. And you know, the reason why is because like if I'm spending like all this time playing the game, and you know, when the game first came out, I spent time taking losses, trying to learn from it. And it's like, so when I lose now, you know, it like really sucks. I'm thinking about all the time I put into it just to get a loss. It sucks.
You know, I put my time in. I paid my dues. You know, like I didn't play Street Fighter and automatically win. If you really like the game, you're gonna be good. I mean, it's gotta be like, you got not just love the game, it's gotta hurt to lose. Like I said before, it's gotta hurt to lose. That's how much you love it.
So I mean, yeah, like a lot of the fun is taken out of it because, you know, we're playing at such a high level. Also, what takes some of the fun out of it, definitely, people who think that I think I'm the best player. So people talk shit to me as though I go around telling everybody that I'm the best. But I've never said that I'm the best because I know I'm not the best. I mean, Justin is way better. I mean, it's Justin's job to be the best. It's not my job to be the best.
I feel like I did well in terms of my placing. I got 17th out of 1,000 and something people. I did pretty well. I mean, I was playing as though I mean, I know why I lost to Kai. You know, I was playing not to lose instead of to win because I started to feel the pressure. You know, I'm playing. I have like 100 people watching me. You know, and I have to play with earphones so that I don't hear what everybody's saying. It got to the point where I felt like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't play because I would feel the pressure of all these people watching me. This must be similar. It has to be similar to the same pressure, to this pressure that pro athletes feel. Even though what we do is obviously on a much tinier scale. Like, I know that. Of course I know that. Pretty much I have to play not to lose because it feels like I have everything on the line. So the pressure started to build up. And so, I can only imagine what Justin feels like.
Personally, for me, it doesn't really bother me because I feed on the pressure, I feed on the hate, I feed on the hostile environment. It is nerve-wracking, but for me, I love just shutting people up. That's just my thing. It's not that I'm confident that no one could beat me, it's just that, I dedicate myself a lot to Street Fighter 4, so if you beat me, and good shit, good props to you, but I'm not gonna make it easy. Waiting for Mars Capcom 2 to start after this, and then 7 o'clock Street Fighter 4. That's the main. So let's try the main thing I'm trying to focus on is Street Fighter 4. I'm top 8 winners, and my first match will be Daigo.
To them, I'm not East Coast anymore because they just want to beat me, which is understandable. But they're like, oh no, the only reason why he's winning because he's Asian. Or if I'm fighting East Coast with West Coast, I'm not Asian anymore. I'm East Coast now. Or if I'm fighting Japan, I'm not Asian nor East Coast anymore. I'm USA. So it's just pretty funny that a lot of people. Well, it's obviously like it's gonna be a biased thing where they want to cheer for
their friends, or they want to cheer for their coast, or they just want to cheer for their country. But it's just like, damn, you just gotta make up your mind or something. Like, I don't really take it to heart or anything like that. So, but it's just really funny that, like, I'm just like different entity every time.
First round I played Daigo. I don't know why they put that. So I went to losers when I chose Abel, and after I went through like a little gauntlet, and after that, the finals became me and Daigo.
Daigo Umehara. Daigo, the Beast Umehara, is basically the Japanese Michael Jordan of video games. Like, the best that there like ever will be, pretty much, right? Why is he special? He is special because he has an ability to read opponents on a level that nobody else has, to the point where they call it Ume, named after him.
Him coming here and him playing us definitely wakes us up. Definitely wakes everybody up to be like, oh yeah, you're good? Take a look at this guy. You know what I mean? And there's more like him.
I really don't think it's like a rivalry in my opinion. I think I'm just trying to just beat him.
ライバル意識はないけど、でも強い、まあみんな強いとは思う。例えばそのアメリカに呼ばれて、例えばレボリューションとか大きな大会に行くってなると、まあ顔は浮かぶねやっぱり。まあ当たるんだろうなみたいな。
The history with Justin, I mean, they've always played. It's always he was the best here, Justin. And usually he was the best here, and then of course you have the best there. So who doesn't want to see that fight? No matter what game, who doesn't want to see that go down? No, Justin's gonna win. No, Daigo's gonna win. It's just like it's interesting. It's something really good to watch. It's also kind of no offense to Justin, I love you, Justin, but to see someone like who destroys us, and then have someone come and destroy him, it's kind of like. Really, like I don't know how to play this game at all. He really says, you really don't know what you're doing.
played Daigo, and it was me and him in the grand finals. I had to beat him 2 sets. So first I tried Abel because I used him in the winners bracket. Couldn't match, but then he shut my Abel down. So I listened to the crowds, my friends' advice from the crowd to pick Balrog. And I picked Balrog, and I won the first set 3-2, and then it came down to the last game 3-2, him. So it was pretty good, pretty impressed. Still would like to win, but at least everyone knows that Japan and America is not that far. It's like right there.
まずあんなにいろんなキャラ使えるっていうことが驚きで、どこでその竜に有利なキャラで来ようっていうのは分かってたんだけど、でもメインキャラ、それまで実際ルーザーズの時もルーファスでしかも圧倒的な強さで勝ってるんだから、一番強いのはルーファスだと思うんですよね。それでルーファスがいつ出てくるのかなと思ったんだけど、最後まで結局出てこなかったっていうのはちょっと意外だったけど、でもすごい強かったですね、他のキャラも。
I do want to beat the shit out of Daigo. After I lost the GameStop, I lost Evo, and I also lost back then at Third Strike. So I gotta fuck him up sooner or later. He can't be my demon forever. A lot of people have demons, and right now he's my demon. So I gotta conquer that demon. I gotta give him an exorcism or something.
Street Fighter 4 was unbelievable. I mean, this room is totally packed. We got over 23,000 simultaneous viewers watching us live, and I don't think I can remember a more exciting finals we've had at Evolution. That Street Fighter 4 match between Daigo and Justin was just off the hook. I don't think anyone can now say that Justin and Daigo are not on the same level.
The clip?
Okay, well, today is Bar Fights 2, and we are, it's been 6 months, almost to the day, and so we have 2 client people that are waiting to get inside Jake's here in Pasadena, and what we have is the match that you didn't get to see at Evo, of course, which is Justin, Art, Lauren, Sanford, and Joe versus the SoCal team, which is now made up of Alex Valle, Combo Fiend, Ed Ma, Mike Ross, and Kenai. So, we have, that's the main event.
The whole East Coast, West Coast rivalry, how West Coast says, oh, West Coast runs this shit. It's time to turn it around, you know what I mean? It's time to say East Coast runs this shit.
And no offense to Justin, but it's time for us to do it together, not just Justin.
We got the SoCal 5-on-5 team.
Yeah, he's captain.
How did I decide? I basically bred these fucking kids playing in fucking fundamentals of Street Fighter, and then they developed their own styles to what they are, the beasts they are today. At tournament results, they always prove each one, any given day, one of these guys gets top 3 every fucking time.
I think we have a pretty good chance winning the whole thing pretty easily.
Yo, stop being humble. Yo, it is Omega free. There's like 3 levels of free. It's like super free, Omega free, and then there's Sigma free. I think it's Omega free. It's not Sigma free because they don't suck that bad. But it's Omega free. That's second highest tier of free.
Well, the toughest competition, hands down, will be the East Coast. They're going to be the only one that actually gets one of, Northeast, whatever. They're only going to be able to beat a few of us versus all the other teams who aren't going to even touch one of us. I think we're going to do something like draw stakes, and one of us will start, and we'll just run through the teams. And when we get to East Coast, then maybe we might have a strategy if we're feeling a little tired, but I'm sorry, dude. Sorry, you got Wong and 4 dudes.
I'm tired, I'm tired of people living off their name, real talk. What they don't know is on the East Coast, Street Fighter 4 is Marvel 2 styles. It's we're all playing and we're all super hungry. But yeah, that's why it's gonna be free, man. Not messing with us. And we got 2 guys here that just came back from Japan. Yo, come on.
When the weakest guy on your team could be the anchor and anyone could be the starter, that's when you know you're in trouble.
it's omega.
What am I supposed to say to top what he just said?
Just say it's omega free. You heard agree with it.
I don't know if it's omega free.
Just say sigma free. 'Cause that's the highest tier
I
of
can't
free.
say sigma free. I'm not even gonna use the word free.
It's like so that like if we lose, like I could be the one that gets slayed, right? And you guys could be like, I said nothing. Right?
I didn't say shit.
Yeah, I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. Right?
I said something.
You did say something.
Just a little bit.
Sure, there's
Yeah,
good players.
no, there's great players.
I never said
Everybody's like
everybody
East Coast,
sucks.
West Coast.
I'm just saying like, I mean, come on.
There's great players.
There's great players,
but to us, they're more spread out than we are because we're all right here. But we have 5 really heavy hitters all in one place on one team.
But in the end, when it comes to one purpose, and like if the purpose is the body West Coast and the body everyone else East Coast will come together like that. We don't have to like each other. But when it comes to Street Fighter 4, we have to come together.
And Joe, I love you.
Arturo Sanchez.
I respect that.
Good shit.
I respect that, man.
This is it! This is it! How do you feel about this match?
I think East Coast is gonna win and dominate everyone.
That's it? Have you guys been practicing? You guys just been sitting on your asses?
No, we've been practicing, but I just don't think West Coast is gonna be seeing us.
So the format is 5-on-5, Evo style, where player A plays player A, player B plays player B. Whoever wins their matches is then eligible to save their team. So they're doing 2 sets of 2 out of 3, and I think it's going to be a really close match. To me, it could go either way. I expect this to be the match of the year.
Let's go!
I want Marn. Marn's too cocky right now. He's way too cocky. And it's like he talks too much trash about all the West Coast. Everybody out here. He says we're all free and we all suck. And that he's light years ahead of us. But hopefully we beat him. And we beat him well.
Rocky starts. This is the moment dreams are made of. those of you just joining us, Team West Coast's bravest, most powerful souls faced off against Empire's finest. And unfortunately, the West Coast fell.
Oh man, we got our ass kicked. And it sucks. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. We got beat. There's nothing I can say. We lost. Damn, man, I'm furious now just thinking about it.
They did fine. I mean, like, couldn't ask me anything. I mean, it was 10-1. The only person that lost the game was Joe, and it was by a pixel. So it's like, we all did what we came to do.
It was a clean sweep besides me. I just lost to Alex.
The West Coast versus East Coast 5-on-5 went really bad. Pretty much, the West Coast comes within 1 to 2 pixels of getting completely shut out, 10-0. Like, how sad is that? That's pretty much like the definitely one of the low points in Street Fighter history, I think. You know, this match that had been brewing for months and months and months came down to 10-1. One win out of all these games, or 9-1, whatever, 10-1, I don't know, whatever it was. It was terrible. It was so bad. It was so bad.
It was, you know what, I didn't really notice the difference in the crowd when we were winning. I noticed the difference in the crowd when Alex beat me. And then I was like, oh wow, there's people watching. I forgot everyone was watching because no one was saying anything because we were winning. So when Alex beat me, I was like, I looked at the crowd, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, wow. Because for us, we get nothing. And then we won, we stood up, we all hugged and looked at the crowd and they were just like, whatever. I really didn't care. I was like, we're here, we're winning, and that's it. You know what I mean? That was it.
There was no teamwork in the West Coast Bar Fights team. It's like we're all friends, but we have no teamwork. The team should have been picked a month before the event. The team should have been picked a month before the event, and we should have been practicing with the 5 of us, like every week. We never practiced once together. So we had no team, no unity. No unity. And that's what I think killed us.
We made sure that when we went there, we had to win. Because West Coast has always been dominant in Street Fighter and fighting games history. So right now we just turned the tide.
Hopefully, like, this will be like a wake-up call for them. They're like, oh, you know, East Coast is serious, and it's not just about Justin. It's been the point from the beginning, because a lot of people have said that East Coast is all about Justin. It's not. As you can obviously see by the results.
It's almost like the East Coast West Coast rivalry is like over. It's dead. Like East Coast like kicked us and beat us down so hard. It's like not even a rivalry anymore. Like we can't even. There's not even an argument to be made. There's no argument to be made.
We're here at a random location in Soho on Green Street in New York City at the Super Street Fighter 4 and Tatsunoko vs. Capcom Ultimate All-Stars Fight Club with a little dash of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. This event is basically the first time anybody outside of the Capcom Corporation has touched Super Street Fighter 4, because the first people who wanted to play this game were the fans who made Street Fighter 4 such a big success. So the first people anywhere in the world outside of Capcom to touch Super Street Fighter 4 are going to be the fans who are here tonight. Where do I think this is going to go? Frankly, I've been surprised at the level of intensity that Street Fighter 4, the original, has maintained over time. I mean, the tournaments I was just at this last weekend seem as hype as the tournaments at the beginning of Street Fighter 4. Almost everything in the game is there because the fans asked for it to be there. So this is the game, this is sort of the house that fans built, and it's going to continue to be the house that fans built. But it's going to be a new day in the Street Fighter 4 world, and I'm really looking forward to it.
You know, 26 now, and I'm done with school, so the main focus for me should be my future, you know? And that's like, it's a no-brainer. You know, there's no juggling between Street Fighter 4 and your future. You know, your future comes first with like getting your career going and stuff like that. However, it doesn't mean you stop playing the game. You know, you can never stop. You know, you're always gonna pick it up every now and then. But don't get me wrong, this isn't like some kind of message saying, oh well, I'm off to go live my life now and I'll stop in and watch Street Fighter 4 every now and then. No, I'm still gonna be playing it as often as possible. But it's just the fact that I may miss a tournament here and there, you know? May not be able to make it out to a gathering. But you know, we'll see what happens. Like I said, this is just fresh for me. It's new to me to be at this age and done with school, trying to see what I'm about to do next, you know? But once I figure it out, then I'll be able to give you a better plan of how my life will be.
I'm moving to California in about maybe 2 weeks or so, and you know, I feel like I just want to change of pace in life, and the fact that like there's just more opportunities in California since a lot of the gaming industry is there. So I'm trying to like take it to the next level instead of just winning tournaments here and there. I don't feel like doing that anymore. Like it's not really consistent, even though it is consistent. But I feel like getting an actual job inside the gaming industry would be a much better life decision choice. I've been looking for like maybe like QA lead test because like I enjoy video games, you know, and I don't feel like working in an office job 9 to 5. I don't feel like doing any of the boring stuff, you know. Like if you want to do something fun in your life, you gotta go for it. You can't just live life with regrets. You have to live life with no regrets. So I think that's, for me, as like a gamer and that's been doing it for like maybe 9 years, just traveling around the whole US, the world, playing tournaments, I think ending it with a gaming job would be like the cherry on top.
I would quit my job now if someone told me that I can make a couple of $1,000s less than I make now, but I'd be able to play. And you know, I'd be like a sponsor, you know, they'd fly me here, make me play there and stuff like that. I quit my job now because that's passion. You know, I know maybe I won't be rich and famous, and you know what? At the job I am now, I'm not going to be rich and famous either. You know what I mean? But it's all about doing what you love to do. You know what I mean? It still gives me that drive after 7, I don't know how many years that is, but I've been playing for a long time and I still feel the same way. So if I can do that for the rest of my life and just be able just to make ends meet and be able to take care of myself and whatever else, if I ever decide to have a family, stuff like that, maybe then it would have to die down. But you know, maybe I can make money and save, so at that point I could do something else a little bit on the side and be able to take care of myself and other people and stuff like that.
The one thing that has remained true and constant from all of this is that when you really are doing something that you believe in and you're doing something that you're meant to be doing, not only do things come together, but different opportunities come along and have that if you would have told me that they would have happened that way before all this happened, I would be like, no way, it doesn't work that way. But I guess you could say that I've learned a lot about life, which sounds so corny. I know how corny that sounds, and I don't mean maybe not a lot about life, but like a lot about the way that things are put together in the world, in the universe. I learned a lot about that I would have never gotten. I would never had that.
Like a little change, you know, I still wanted to move, you know what I mean, start over somewhere and stuff like that. I want to go to Japan soon. I'm just getting bored. we'll give it something a little bit more. I mean, even if it was like, if I was able to play more, you know what I mean, travel more and play, maybe get back into the scene. I had a little bit more drive, I guess, with with Street Fighter 4 than Super, but I still have love for the game and the community and playing in general. Other than that, it's the same stuff.
A lot has changed. I changed up my entire life, and so I've been playing a lot more, and that's why I was able to get top 8. Practice just paid off. Still don't know where my life is headed. You know, it's like one minute I thought, okay, now that I'm done with school, like now it's time to get the regular job. But then the Street Fighter stuff got so big, it's like, all right, as long as I'm still able to maintain for a little bit longer, I don't need to do that right away.
I feel like now I actually have some resources to work with to push the original vision or goal of turning competitive Street Fighter into something much larger than it is, similar to UFC or boxing, MMA, wrestling, whatever. Because that's where I think it should go, and I think that I'm the guy to do that. And it's like fun for me. So I get to do it now in a different way. Like the way that I started out doing it was as a player.
Personally, everything's been good. I got a new team, Evil Geniuses. They take care of me really well. So my move was actually successful. So I just need to keep working on it. Keep making sure I stay on top and keep the sponsorships still there rolling. So like me moving to California was a really big success, like for me and my girlfriend.